In a world where the boundaries of civilization have expanded far and wide, there remains a place where time stands still, a remote tribe, untouched by modern society, living in isolation from the outside world. This is the tribe Joe Rogan recently uncovered in one of his most mind-bending revelations. For over 60,000 years, they've thrived in the harshest conditions, surviving with virtually no technology or conveniences we take for granted. Their fierce resilience, deep connection to nature, and extraordinary survival tactics defy what we know about human existence. Dives deep into the mysteries surrounding their lifestyle, uncovering secrets that challenge the very laws of physics. How do they live without modern tools, and what does their world look like? Join us as we explore the untold story of a people whose way of life has been a timeless enigma. The Majestic Maasai tribe, guardians of cattle. The Maasai tribe, one of the most fascinating and revered ethnic groups in East Africa, holds a special place in the hearts and minds of those who encounter their extraordinary culture and lifestyle. Located primarily in Kenya and Tanzania, the Maasai have been able to maintain their customs and traditions for centuries, surviving through harsh conditions and immense challenges. Known for their strikingly colorful clothes, intricate jewelry, and proud heritage, they are a symbol of resilience, unity, and the enduring spirit of Africa's rural tribes. Joe Rogan, the famous host of the Joe Rogan Experience, has often shared his insights into the lives of the Maasai people, bringing their unique customs to a global audience. His fascination with the tribe runs deep, as he often speaks about their culture, their deep connection with cattle, and their awe-inspiring survival tactics. However, the story of the Maasai tribe goes far beyond their vibrant traditions. It's a tale of perseverance, hardship, and survival against the backdrop of both natural and human-made adversities. The Maasai's journey to South Africa. The Maasai people's roots trace back to North Africa, where they originated before embarking on a long migration southward. This journey began in the 15th century, during which the tribe moved through treacherous terrain, facing dangers from both natural elements and other tribal groups. Along the way, the Maasai encountered many obstacles, including hostile environments and rival tribes. Their migration south was not merely a geographical shift, but a significant cultural transformation as they adopted new practices and refined their way of life. One of the key aspects of the Maasai people's migration was their acquisition of cattle, which became the cornerstone of their culture. As they traveled through the African continent, the Maasai tribe integrated cattle into their society, and these animals became an essential part of their identity, both symbolically and practically. The bond between the Maasai people and their cattle is unparalleled, representing wealth, status, and security. In many ways, the cattle became synonymous with the tribe's survival and their continued presence in the harsh African landscapes. The struggles of the early 20th century. As the 20th century unfolded, the Maasai tribe's fortunes took a dramatic turn. The early part of the century brought devastation in the form of drought and disease, which swept through East Africa and wiped out nearly half of their population and their prized herds. The Maasai faced widespread famine, loss, and hardship during these trying times. Yet, despite these overwhelming challenges, they remained resilient, finding ways to adapt and continue their existence. The devastation didn't end there. By the early 1900s, European settlers began encroaching upon African lands, establishing colonies, and forcibly taking control of large swaths of territory. In 1911, a controversial treaty between the British settlers and the Maasai tribe forced the latter to surrender some of their most fertile lands. These lands, once rich in resources and grazing grounds, were taken away, leaving the Maasai with less fertile, more challenging terrain. The impact of this land loss was profound, and the Maasai were now pushed into areas that were less conducive to farming or grazing, making their already difficult lifestyle even harder to sustain. Despite the enormous setbacks, the Maasai have never fully relinquished their identity. Though their presence in some regions like the Maar, Serengeti, and other wildlife reserves has become more limited, their cultural significance endures. The Maasai's ability to withstand centuries of challenges has solidified their place as one of Africa's most iconic and enduring tribes. Their connection to the land remains deep-rooted, and their history is a testament to the tribe's unwavering spirit. Cattle, the heartbeat of Maasai society. For the Maasai, cattle are not just livestock, they are the lifeblood of the tribe. From the moment they are born, cattle are treated with the utmost care and respect. These animals provide the Maasai with food, wealth, and social status. A person's wealth and standing within the tribe are directly tied to the number of cattle they own. The larger the herd, the more respected an individual becomes. This unique form of social stratification has kept the Maasai's cattle-based economy intact for centuries, despite the many external forces that have tried to disrupt it. The Maasai also use cattle as currency in many of their most important life events, such as weddings. In their culture, a woman is essentially purchased with cattle, which are exchanged during the marriage ceremony as part of the bride price. The act of exchanging cattle symbolizes not only the union of two individuals, but also the bond between families and communities. It is a cultural practice that has withstood the test of time, connecting generations of Maasai through the generations-old tradition of the bride price. In addition to their role in social exchanges, cattle are integral to the Maasai diet. They consume milk, blood, and meat as part of their daily sustenance, a diet that has been crucial in developing the physical strength and endurance that the Maasai are known for. Their diet, rich in calcium and protein, has made the Maasai some of the tallest and strongest people in Africa. This diet, coupled with their unique lifestyle, has fostered a generation of physically robust individuals who can withstand the most difficult of conditions. The AMU Dance, a rite of passage. Among the most iconic aspects of the Maasai culture is the AMU Dance, a remarkable demonstration of strength, agility, and cultural pride. This traditional dance is not merely a form of entertainment, it is a deeply significant ritual that marks the transition of boys into warriors. During the Yoko ceremony, young men are called upon to perform the AMU, which involves jumping as high as possible, often nearly 3 feet into the air without using their arms for momentum. The AMU dance is more than just a physical challenge. It is a rite of passage that signifies maturity, strength, and readiness to take on the responsibilities of a warrior. The higher a boy can jump, the more attractive and respected he becomes within his community. This practice, which has fascinated many around the world, is not as easy as it seems. Tourists visiting Kenya and Tanzania often marvel at the ability of the Maasai to perform such astonishing feats of athleticism, with many attempting to jump as high as the Maasai do, but finding it an almost impossible task. The physical prowess required to perform the AMU dance is a testament to the Maasai's strength and training. While the exact methods they use to achieve such impressive heights remain a mystery, the tribe's connection to the land, their cattle, and their physical environment seems to play a crucial role in their ability to jump so effortlessly. Scientists have long been fascinated by the Maasai's ability to leap, often attributing it to a combination of genetics, diet, and physical conditioning. But there is also a sense of mysticism surrounding this remarkable feat. The spiritual and cultural significance of the AMU dance for the Maasai. The AMU is more than just a physical display of skill. It carries profound spiritual and social meaning. The ability to leap high into the air symbolizes the young man's readiness to face the challenges of life as a warrior. It is a demonstration of strength, but also of courage and resilience. As the young men perform the dance, they tap into something primal, something deeply rooted in their culture and connection to the land. The dance is a powerful expression of identity, one that transcends physical ability and touches on the essence of what it means to be Maasai. Joe Rogan has often marveled at the Maasai's extraordinary physical abilities, especially their capacity to jump so high without the use of arms for momentum. He has expressed his awe on multiple occasions, highlighting how this ability reflects a deeper connection to their environment and culture. To Rogan, the Maasai's physical strength and their practice of the AMU dance represent a link between body, mind, and spirit that is rarely seen in modern society. Challenges in the modern world. Though the Maasai continue to uphold their traditions with pride, their way of life is increasingly threatened by modern influences. As agriculture and urbanization continue to encroach on their traditional territories, the Maasai are faced with the difficult task of preserving their heritage while adapting to new realities. The tension between maintaining their cultural identity and embracing the changes brought about by the modern world is a constant challenge for the tribe. Despite these challenges, the Maasai continue to stand as a symbol of resilience, strength, and cultural pride. Their remarkable ability to survive and thrive in one of the harshest environments on Earth is a testament to the enduring power of tradition and community. The Maasai's connection to their cattle, their unique cultural practices, and their physical prowess continue to captivate people around the world, ensuring that their legacy will endure for generations to come. The Hunza tribe, guardians of tradition, amidst transformation. The Hunza people, a small indigenous tribe that has lived in isolation for centuries in the rugged mountains of northern Pakistan, stand at a cultural crossroads. As the world outside encroaches on their sacred lands, the Hunza are confronted with a series of existential challenges, forcing them to confront the tension between preserving their ancient way of life and adapting to the pressures of the modern world. With a deep connection to their land and customs, they now find themselves at risk of losing the very identity that has sustained them for generations. A struggle for land and identity. The struggle for the Hunza people is, at its core, a battle for survival, both physically and culturally. Over the past 50 years, their ancestral lands have been reduced by a staggering 75 to 90%, a direct result of the relentless expansion of agriculture, settlement, and industry in the surrounding regions. What was once a vast and uninterrupted natural landscape, teeming with wild animals, honey-rich forests, and resources crucial to their subsistence, is now being carved up by modern developments that threaten to transform their way of life irreversibly. As farmers, miners, and landowners expand into the Hunza's homeland, the people are pushed to the margins of their territory. The transition from a nomadic, hunting and gathering lifestyle to one in which the Hunza are forced to occupy smaller, ever-shrinking spaces on the land is a source of deep anxiety. The pressures of land encroachment are not just physical, but psychological, as the Hunza fear that their culture may gradually vanish, swallowed by the march of modernity. In the face of this, the tribe remains fiercely determined to retain its identity, but the challenges they face are immense. The Hunza have no domesticated livestock, nor do they grow or store their own food on a large scale, making them particularly vulnerable to external economic and environmental forces. Their way of life has always been closely linked to hunting and gathering, using the forest and the surrounding mountains as both a source of livelihood and spiritual sustenance. But as modern farming practices take root and new landowners settle in the area, the Hunza find themselves squeezed out of their traditional hunting grounds. The loss of their territory is not merely a matter of land, it represents the loss of their identity. Their customs, their language, their skills, everything that makes them Hunza, is tied to the land. When they are deprived of it, they are deprived of their very sense of self. In a world where indigenous communities are often rendered invisible, their struggle is emblematic of the larger fight that many native groups are engaged in to maintain their sovereignty, both in terms of their lands and their cultural practices. The changing nature of the Hunza's traditional lifestyle. The traditional lifestyle of the Hunza has long been built around a self-sufficient, sustainable system of subsistence hunting and gathering. They are famed for their remarkable ability to hunt game with simple tools like bows and arrows, crafted with extraordinary skill from the materials at hand in their mountainous environment. For centuries, the Hunza have lived in harmony with nature, using their knowledge of the land to track animals, gather honey, and harvest wild plants. This lifestyle not only provided them with the essentials for survival, but also embedded them deeply in the rhythms of the natural world. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Hunza people is their almost supernatural relationship with nature. Their ability to find honey, for instance, has been described as nothing short of remarkable. They are known to have an almost spiritual connection to birds, using their calls to guide them to hidden honey hives in the mountains. This practice, passed down through generations, speaks to the Hunza's intimate knowledge of the environment and their deep respect for the creatures that share it with them. Their skills in navigating the natural world go beyond mere survival. They reflect a cultural and spiritual bond that transcends the physical act of hunting or gathering. However, as farming and modern settlement encroach on their ancestral territories, the Hunza's way of life has become increasingly difficult to sustain. The animals they hunt are being driven away by agricultural practices, and the forests that once provided them with honey and materials for tools are shrinking. What was once a landscape of abundance is being steadily transformed into a world of scarcity, forcing the Hunza to either adapt or face the loss of their cultural heritage. Health and fitness. The Hunza's remarkable physique. An astonishing aspect of the Hunza people is their remarkable health and fitness. Despite their isolation from modern medicine and technology, the Hunza are often noted for their robust physical condition. Their muscular, lean physiques are a product of a lifestyle filled with physical challenges, whether it be hunting large game, trekking across harsh mountainous terrain, or gathering resources from the land. Unlike modern populations who rely on processed food and sedentary lifestyles, the Hunza developed their strength and endurance from an early age, engaging in physically demanding activities that help them hone their bodies for survival. There is a certain mystery surrounding the Hunza's longevity and health. Many studies have been conducted to explore their impressive life expectancy, with some researchers pointing to their diet and lifestyle as potential contributors. The Hunza have traditionally consumed a diet rich in whole foods, including fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, supplemented by the occasional animal protein. Their diet is low in processed foods, refined sugars, and artificial additives, factors that contribute to the prevalence of chronic diseases in modern societies. Moreover, the Hunza's active lifestyle, which involves hours of physical labor in the mountains, helps to keep their bodies in top shape. Despite these factors, the scientific community has been intrigued by the Hunza's extraordinary physical condition. Some experts speculate that the Hunza's digestive system may possess unique microbiomes that help them metabolize raw foods, which is key to their health. This theory raises more questions than answers, and the curiosity surrounding the Hunza's health continues to grow. It is a mystery that adds a layer of intrigue to their already captivating way of life, as outsiders wonder how this remote tribe manages to remain so healthy despite their lack of modern amenities or medical intervention. Tourism and the commodification of culture. In recent years, the Hunza tribe has found itself caught in a paradox. On one hand, the influx of tourists brings much-needed income and offers a chance for the tribe to preserve certain aspects of its culture. On the other hand, this new wave of tourism comes with its own set of challenges. There is a growing risk that their unique way of life will be commodified, reduced to a spectacle for curious outsiders who may not fully understand or appreciate the complexity of Hunza culture. Tourism has brought both opportunities and dilemmas for the Hunza. On one hand, the revenue generated from tourism has allowed the tribe to build schools, improve infrastructure, and enhance their standard of living. The increased visibility of the Hunza tribe has brought international attention to the struggles they face, as well as to their remarkable traditions. But on the other hand, the influx of outsiders raises questions about the authenticity of their practices. Can the Hunza maintain their dignity and self-respect while allowing visitors to witness their honey-gathering rituals or their traditional hunting methods? Is there a risk that these cultural practices will be reduced to mere performances for paying tourists? The ethical dilemmas posed by tourism in indigenous communities are not new, but they are particularly poignant in the case of the Hunza. As outsiders observe their honey-gathering rituals or participate in the tribe's cultural activities, it becomes clear that the Hunza must carefully navigate the balance between sharing their culture and protecting its integrity. The commodification of their traditions poses a significant threat to their autonomy, as their way of life risks being altered to fit the expectations of tourists. Preserving the Hunza's legacy. As the modern world encroaches further into Hunza territory, the question remains: can the Hunza adapt without sacrificing their cultural identity? Can they preserve their ancient way of life while embracing the opportunities that the modern world offers? The Hunza are a resilient people, and their fight to maintain their culture in the face of overwhelming odds serves as a testament to the strength of indigenous communities around the world. The Hunza's determination to survive and thrive in a changing world is an inspiring story of resilience. Their traditional skills, deep knowledge of nature, and close-knit community offer a window into a way of life that many in the modern world have lost. But as they face the reality of land loss, environmental degradation, and the rise of tourism, the future of the Hunza tribe remains uncertain. In the end, the survival of the Hunza and of other indigenous peoples around the world will depend on their ability to navigate the complexities of modern life while retaining the core elements of their cultural identity. The struggle of the Hunza is not just about survival, it is about preserving a way of life that has withstood the test of time. As the world around them changes, the Hunza tribe stands as a guardian of their traditions, holding fast to their way of life while adapting to the forces that threaten to dismantle it. Their story is one of survival against the odds, and it serves as a reminder of the importance of cultural preservation in a rapidly changing world. A world of ice and snow, the Chuchi's harsh environment. The Chuchi live in the Siberian tundra, an area so remote that it remains largely untouched by modern civilization. Situated in the northeastern part of Russia, this region is marked by brutal winters and short, fleeting summers. The cold here is unrelenting, with temperatures often plummeting to well below freezing for much of the year. Snow blankets the land for months on end, and winds whip across the barren landscape with a ferocity that would dissuade anyone from venturing into the wilderness unprepared. In such an environment, life is a constant struggle against the elements. Yet, for the Chuchi, this hostile environment has become home. The land is sparsely populated, and only a few hardy animals, including reindeer, polar bears, and various species of birds, can survive the frigid temperatures. The Chuchi have adapted to these conditions, creating a unique culture that is inseparable from the land they inhabit. Their homes are built to withstand the harsh winds and freezing temperatures, constructed from reindeer hides, snow, and ice. These structures, known as chums, are circular tents that offer insulation and warmth, and they are designed to be easily assembled and disassembled, allowing the Chuchi to follow the migratory patterns of the reindeer they rely on for food and clothing. In this frozen landscape, survival is a delicate balance between the tribe's resourcefulness and the forces of nature. The Chuchi's deep understanding of their environment allows them to hunt, gather, and live in harmony with the land, despite the challenges it presents. It is in this context that the Chuchi's extraordinary survival skills and cultural practices can be truly appreciated. The Chuchi's survival mastery, hunting and reindeer. For the Chuchi people, reindeer are not merely a source of food, they are essential to almost every aspect of life. The reindeer's meat provides sustenance, while its fur is used to make clothing, tents, and even boots. The bones and antlers of the reindeer are repurposed for tools and weapons, which are critical for survival in such a harsh environment. The Chuchi have developed remarkable techniques for hunting these creatures, utilizing their deep knowledge of the terrain and animal behavior. In the vast, snow-covered plains of Siberia, tracking reindeer requires extraordinary patience and skill. The Chuchi use sleds pulled by dogs or reindeer themselves to traverse the snow, moving silently and efficiently through the tundra. Their ability to read the land, interpreting the patterns of animal tracks in the snow, the direction of the wind, and the subtle shifts in the environment, is unmatched. These skills have been honed over centuries, passed down through generations, and have become a central aspect of Chuchi identity. In addition to reindeer, the Chuchi also hunt other animals such as seals and fish, relying on a variety of tools including harpoons, nets, and traps. The cold waters of the Arctic Ocean, though unforgiving, are rich with marine life, and the Chuchi have developed techniques to catch fish, even in freezing temperatures. This combination of hunting land and sea animals allows the tribe to maintain a varied diet, crucial for surviving the long, harsh winters when food is scarce. Chuchi Resilience, standing strong against Russian colonization. The history of the Chuchi is one of unyielding resistance against foreign forces. In the 1700s, as Russia sought to expand its empire across Siberia, the Chuchi became a target of colonization. The Russian military launched several campaigns against the tribe, attempting to subdue them and force them into submission. These campaigns, however, were met with fierce resistance. The Chuchi, accustomed to the harsh conditions of their environment, were formidable adversaries who knew the terrain better than the Russian soldiers. For nearly 4 decades, the Russian forces tried and failed to conquer the Chuchi. The failure of the Russian Empire to subdue the Chuchi is a testament to the tribe's resilience and tenacity. Despite being vastly outnumbered and facing superior military technology, the Chuchi were able to hold their ground, defending their land and culture with fierce determination. After decades of costly conflict, the Russian military finally abandoned their efforts to conquer the tribe. This event stands as a pivotal moment in Chuchi history, symbolizing the tribe's enduring strength and their ability to resist outside pressures. This history of resistance has become a central part of the Chuchi identity. They see themselves not only as survivors of a brutal environment, but as a people who have successfully defended their way of life against imperial forces. This sense of pride in their history fuels the tribe's continued resistance to modern encroachments on their land and culture. It is a reminder that the Chuchi are not easily defeated and will fight to protect their traditions and heritage. Spirituality and cultural practices. The Chuchi, people's connection to the land, goes beyond survival. It is deeply spiritual. Their beliefs are rooted in animism, with a strong emphasis on the natural world. The Chuchi believe that all living things, from the reindeer to the plants and the spirits of the land, are interconnected. This worldview shapes their approach to hunting, gathering, and even their burial practices. One of the most significant aspects of Chuchi spirituality is their belief in the afterlife. They hold that when a person dies, their spirit journeys to the realm of the polar star, where they are reunited with their ancestors. This belief informs the tribe's burial practices, which are elaborate and steeped in tradition. When a Chuchi person dies, they are buried with items that will accompany them in the afterlife, such as tools, clothing, and food. These offerings are meant to ensure that the deceased has everything they need in the next world. The burial site is often marked with stones or wooden markers, and the Chuchi believe that the spirits of their ancestors continue to watch over the living, guiding them in their daily lives. The Chuchi also express their spirituality through music, dance, and storytelling. Their songs are often about nature, the animals they hunt, and the spirits that inhabit the land. These songs are passed down through generations, helping to preserve the tribe's cultural heritage. The dances, too, are a form of spiritual expression, reflecting the tribe's connection to the rhythms of the land and the animals they hunt. These rituals are not just for entertainment, they are essential to the tribe's identity and their understanding of the world around them. The struggle for survival in the modern world. In recent years, the Chuchi tribe has faced numerous challenges as modernity encroaches upon their traditional way of life. The Russian government has imposed new laws and regulations that threaten the tribe's ability to live as they have for centuries. Industrial development, including mining and oil extraction, has begun to intrude on the Chuchi's ancestral lands, threatening the delicate balance that has allowed them to thrive in such a harsh environment. Local and international organizations have taken steps to protect the Chuchi's cultural heritage. Efforts are underway to preserve their language, stories, and traditional practices in the face of globalization and climate change. However, the survival of the Chuchi way of life remains uncertain. The challenges they face are immense, and their future hangs in the balance. Despite this, the Chuchi continue to demonstrate the same resilience that has defined their people for centuries. They refuse to let their culture fade away, fighting to maintain their identity in a world that is rapidly changing. The Chuchi, a testament to human resilience. The Chuchi tribe's story is one of survival, resilience, and unwavering determination. They have managed to carve out a life in one of the coldest and most unforgiving regions of the planet, mastering the skills necessary to thrive in an environment where most people would perish. Their history, culture, and spiritual beliefs have shaped a unique way of life that continues to endure despite the challenges they face. As the world changes and the forces of globalization and industrialization threaten to reshape their way of life, the Chuchi stand as a powerful reminder of the strength of indigenous cultures. They embody the enduring spirit of humanity, showing that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, people can adapt, resist, and survive. The Chuchi tribe may be small in number, but their legacy is larger than life, offering a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Their story serves as a call to action, urging us to protect and preserve the world's indigenous cultures and the knowledge they hold. In a world that often overlooks the wisdom of ancient peoples, the Chuchi tribe stands as a shining example of what it means to be truly indomitable. Their ability to survive in one of the harshest environments on Earth is not just a feat of endurance, but a testament to the power of culture, community, and the unbreakable bond between a people and their land. The history of the Sentinelles, a legacy of isolation. The history of the Sentinelles is a narrative of isolation, an intentional distancing from the outside world that has lasted for thousands of years. Little is known about the tribe's origins, as they have remained largely hidden from the outside world. Archaeologists and historians speculate that the Sentinelles have lived on their island for over 60,000 years, making them one of the longest continuously isolated cultures on Earth. They are likely descendants of some of the first human populations to settle in the region during the prehistoric period. Historically, the isolation of the tribe has been reinforced by geographical factors. North Sentinel Island is surrounded by rough waters, coral reefs, and unpredictable tides, making access to the island extremely difficult. These natural barriers, combined with the hostile reception given to any outsider, have made it nearly impossible for anyone to establish contact with the Sentinelles. This isolation has allowed them to preserve their traditional way of life without outside influence, remaining entirely self-sufficient. Encounters with the outside world. The first recorded contact with the Sentinelles occurred in 1771, when the British colonial officer, James MacLeod, attempted to make contact with the tribe. However, this early attempt was met with hostility, and the British retreated after the Sentinelles shot arrows at them. Over the years, other explorers, researchers, and missionaries have made similar attempts, only to be met with the same level of resistance. The tribe's refusal to engage has become legendary, with their arrows, spears, and deadly precision, making it clear that they wish to remain undisturbed. One of the most infamous incidents involving the tribe occurred in 2006, when two Indian fishermen, Sundaraj and Pandit Tiwari, were killed after their boat drifted to shore. The fishermen had been poaching in the waters surrounding the island when their boat broke loose. The Sentinelles, recognizing the threat posed by these intruders, killed the fishermen with arrows as they tried to land on the island. This event is a tragic reminder of the tribe's determination to protect their island from external threats. Another incident that captured global attention occurred in November 2018, when John Allen Chow, an American missionary, was killed by the Sentinelles while attempting to convert them to Christianity. Chow, despite being aware of the tribe's hostile attitude toward outsiders, managed to illegally make contact with them, convinced that he could spread his religious beliefs. He paid the price for this disrespectful intrusion with his life, and his death sparked international debate over the ethics of missionary work and the rights of indigenous peoples to remain isolated. The tragic death of Chow highlighted the dangers of interacting with isolated tribes, particularly the risks they face from diseases brought by outsiders. The Sentinelles, like many uncontacted tribes, have no immunity to common illnesses such as the flu or the common cold, and the introduction of these diseases could decimate their population. The Indian government has since prohibited any form of contact with the tribe, enforcing a no-contact policy to protect the Sentinelles and their way of life. The Sentinelles Way of Life. The Sentinelles are a small, nomadic hunter-gatherer society, relying on the natural resources available to them for survival. Their knowledge of the island's ecosystem is vast, and they are experts in navigating the dense forests and the surrounding waters. The tribe primarily hunts and gathers food, with fishing being an essential part of their diet. They use simple tools, such as bows and arrows, spears, and other handmade weapons, to hunt the island's fauna, including wild pigs, turtles, and other small animals. The Sentinelles are also skilled at making and using boats, namely thin outrigger canoes. These canoes, while not designed for long voyages, are ideal for navigating the shallow coastal waters of the island. The boats are propelled by poles, similar to the technique used in punting, allowing the tribe to move with ease through the water in search of fish and other resources. The tribe's shelters vary depending on their needs. They build both permanent, communal huts and more temporary structures, which can be seen dotting the island's beaches. The communal huts are large enough to accommodate several families, with many hearths inside. These structures provide shelter from the harsh elements of the island, which can range from intense heat during the day to the chilling cold of the night. Temporary shelters, which are more basic, are used for individual family units and are often constructed using the resources readily available in the surrounding environment. The Sentinelles dress in simple clothing made from materials such as tree bark and fibers. Women typically wear string-like fibers wrapped around their waists, necks, and heads, while men wear necklaces and thick waist belts. These items are often made from the same fibers or materials they use for their shelters, demonstrating the tribe's deep connection to the natural world around them. The presence of metal items, which have washed ashore or been recovered from shipwrecks, further illustrates the tribe's adaptability. They have sharpened these metal objects to use as arrowheads and other tools, incorporating these foreign materials into their otherwise traditional way of life. Modern encounters and the no-contact policy. The Indian government, recognizing the importance of preserving the Sentinelles' way of life, has implemented strict policies to protect the tribe from outside influence. In 2005, the Indian government declared North Sentinel Island off-limits to all visitors, enforcing a buffer zone around the island. This no-contact policy is designed to safeguard the tribe from diseases, exploitation, and cultural erosion. The Indian Coast Guard patrols the waters surrounding the island to ensure that no one comes too close, and violators of the policy can face severe penalties. Despite these efforts, there have been occasional reports of tourists or adventurers trying to make contact with the tribe. Some outsiders, drawn by curiosity or a desire for a unique experience, attempt to reach the island, disregarding the rules in place. These incidents, while rare, highlight the ongoing challenges of protecting isolated tribes in a world where borders are often blurred and curiosity about uncontacted peoples is high. The Sentinelles are perhaps one of the most important reminders of the need to respect the autonomy of indigenous cultures. Their continued resistance to outside contact is not merely a survival tactic, but a form. Conclusion: the Sentinelles as symbols of resistance. The Sentinelles are not just an isolated tribe. They are a living symbol of humanity's ability to preserve traditional ways of life in the face of overwhelming pressure from the outside world. Their fierce determination to protect their land and culture has made them one of the most formidable indigenous groups on the planet. Their story is a powerful reminder of the importance of preserving indigenous cultures and respecting the wishes of those who choose to remain untouched by modernity. While the world around them continues to change, the Sentinelles remain steadfast in their refusal to be assimilated, and in doing so, they offer a powerful lesson in resilience, autonomy, and the right to self-determination. Their continued survival is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the enduring power of cultural identity.